Back behind the starting line with John Force. John, right now, one pair left in Funny Car, and you've got low ET. Considering the way the weekend started, you got to feel pretty good about that.
Well, my cars are really triplets. I just got the bad one right now that doesn't want to cooperate, but Dean Antonelli and Douglas are fixing it. But right now up here, Mike Neff, he never gets greedy. Maybe some of them guys saw our run, and they got greedy, but we really ran soft. But the Napa car, Timmy Richards bringing it around, so either of these two could get the job done.
Well, it's very important, as you mentioned, those little bonus points, and John is well aware of that.
Now, let's just think about this. That guy, Mike Neff, is currently the #1 qualifier. Guy in the other lane, Ron Kapp, is currently #3. We know that you have a capability of improving because we have seen it, and we know that Tim Richards is now running that car. So let's just suggest, could this be a Ron Kapp's #1? Well, that'd be cool.
Well, I mean, Tim Richards is definitely getting a handle on that Napa car, but Tim Richards is the kind of guy that, you know, he doesn't care about low ET unless he feels the track will hold it. If he does, he will go for it. But what we've seen thus far, the track conditions, I don't think are bad. I think a lot of guys are like John said, are right. They're going for it, pushing a little bit too hard. But I don't know if the track conditions are there for that man right there to say, hey, I want to go out there and try to run like a 409.
All right, Mike, let's find out now. Whoa, Ron Kapp's all over the place. He runs a 4:48 and a 4:13 for Mike Neff. Wow. Now Mike Neff is low of the section, so he gets 3 points. Unfortunately, going to get 2. Cruz gets 1.
Tim Richards, Ron Kapp says you brought a lot of confidence to this team. He's good to go. How good is your go, and how big a challenge tomorrow with race day? Totally different conditions.
It's going to be huge tomorrow. I mean, there isn't anybody here who's going to really know what to do. I mean, especially me. I don't have a lot of experience in the heat in one of these things, but all I know is they're very, very difficult to put down a hot track.
Keep in mind, though, it's going to be the same for everybody. Nice job on qualifying #3.
The Lucas Oil ladder for Funny Car eliminations when we come on the air on Sunday evening. Mike Neff and Justin Schrieffer, that's 1 and 16. But take a look at some of these others.
On the side, Matt Hagan and Dale Creasy Jr. And how about the brothers, Cruz and Tony Pedregon? Cruz is going to have lane choice in that matchup.
Let's go to the top end. Gary Gerald and Mike Neff.
Mike, you were telling me that last weekend you enjoyed the luxury of 4 full days away from the race shop and a racetrack. You're out at Geist Reservoir in Indianapolis on the boat, just enjoying life. How much did that help you get ready for this week?
Oh, it helps. You need to be able to unwind. You just wears you out, the mental drain and just your nerves, and everybody needs a break. I think everybody needs a hobby, some type of getaway in their life, make them live longer. But I'm just excited. I mean, this Ford Castro machine just keeps putting up some good numbers. I was waiting because I was watching Force and Robert and Hagan and Caps, all these guys, waiting for them to throw that number up. I was up there ready to protect that #1 spot, and when they all smoked their tires, I had my man John get back in there and back the thing off so we'd go down there and get some more points, and it all worked out.
Stat guy, you're next.
Mike Neff with his 5th career pole. He ties several drivers in the all-time Funny Car list, but the one I want to bring up is Dale Puldey, driver of that War Eagle Funny Car that Mike mentioned earlier. When I was a kid at Englishtown, the War Eagle was one of my favorites.
And just before he took that run, this is Mike Neff, the crew chief.
Talked about backing it down. He's adjusting the clutch flows to slow that clutch application down so it doesn't smoke the tires in the middle of the racetrack.
Let's go to John Kernan.
Back with Tommy Delago, and Tommy, one of the crew chiefs who's going to have the challenge of tuning on a hot day tomorrow after having 2 night runs here in qualifying. Tommy, how difficult does that make your job?
Well, it'll be as difficult as always. I mean, the hotter it gets, the harder it is, especially with funny cars. They're calling for it to be hotter tomorrow, but you never know with this place. I mean, last year it was hot the first 2 elimination rounds, and it rained for 5 hours and became a mine shaft raceway for the last 2 rounds. So really never know what we get till we get here in the morning. We'll just deal with it when we get to it.
All right, best of luck.
Thank you.
When you talk about mine shaft conditions, that's great atmospheric conditions, cloud cover so that the track will bite and they can run those great times. But it's going to be hot tomorrow, and I have a feeling these crew chiefs are going to have their work cut out to try to put 8,000 horsepower to the ground and get that Wally.
It's forecast for 90 degrees. Don't forget, go vote. Put our guys in the ESPY Awards. Vote. Vote. You've got until midnight. We'll see you tomorrow.